guys, this is Production Music Live with another tutorial, quick sound design video. I think Maxime was asking for the notes of Kygo Stole the Show. So I checked out the original track and I tried to figure out the notes. We start with the piano notes and I go to this piano track down here. I have the Ableton piano pack built in here. I'm playing those notes. I think Kygo uses this kind of structure a lot, so the pianos are not on the beat, but they're quite offbeat and they're like always a little late, and that's how he's creating this laid back, chill, tropical house kind of groove. So we are using those chords for the pianos. Cutting off some low end here, I'm taking some mid, mudding out, and I'm cutting off a little bit of the higher frequencies because we are covering the highest frequencies already with the flutes and everything. So no need to do too much here. The sidechain compression is off for now. A little bit of delay, a little bit of reverb, and an auto filter on top. I'm using a simple basic drumming over here, not going into detail on this now. We have more Tropical House videos on this channel where we have beats at 100 BPM and you can simply check one of those. The bass over here is playing something rumbling kind of style. And make sure you have a subwoofer or headphones. And I'm playing this bass with Massive. It's a patch from our Tropical House pack. Check description if you're interested in those Massive presets. We are also using the same chords in the pads over here. So those pads play those chord patterns as well. And it's another patch from our Tropical House pack, volume 2. It's this driving pad sound, and it's a little bit LFO'd as well. And it's manipulating those oscillator 1 and 2 and filter. Anyways, let's have a look at the most important thing over here, which is the flute. And what is the flute doing? The flute is doing this. Combined with the beat and the bass. You can see I'm using a preset here, also called lead flute, and it's heavily using noise over here, bright noise, and also a little bit the G pulse wave table, and it's short in the envelopes. And that's our lead flute. It's lacking a little bit of power, even if we put on the piano and the pad. And that's why I added in a couple of layers taking care of different characteristics of the sound. So this, for example, you could add in a little more stabbiness. And that also fills up the frequency range. It's not that noticeable actually, but it fills up the frequency range in the lower parts and adds a little bit attacky feel in there. because we don't have so many elements over here, and we're trying to fill up the frequency range to have a powerful sound. So right now, if we look at the frequency range, we covered it with our kick drum and bass, and we covered this area a little bit with our flute sound and with a couple of hi-hats. And then over here we have some pads and stuff. But for those flute sounds that are playing over here, we also want to cover those areas here, so those mid frequencies. And that's why I'm stacking up a couple of layers to achieve a little more fat sound. And we have this stabby thing layer over here. I'm also adding in another airy kind of flute sound that gets a lot of air because I put compression on the long tail of the sound. And that one, I really want to bring out the brighter parts of the noise from this lead pipe sound. And well, that adds in a little bit of air into this sound layer. We have the high flute obviously here, which also has a little bit of air to it already. And now I'm trying to add in a little bit of pad feeling into this lead because it's very short and articulated for now. And I think in KYGO's version it sounds a little more like a pad from time to time. Now this sounds nothing like what you want to expect in this track, but it's a kind of question of filling up the frequency range and giving each of those bands a little bit of power. And this is what this paddy thing is doing over here. Actually have some internal clipping here, so we take down this thing 10 decibels and more or less take it up here, something like 10 decibels. Okay, that's better. Something I call the bite part, which bites a little more, cuts through the mix. And also I have some kind of mid support track over here. This one is really the paddy element that I was talking about before. This takes care of those mid frequencies, paddy kind of sounds. And we have one octave lower, a pan flute in there as well. You don't really need all those layers, but I was working on it and I thought, yeah, I'm going to try to get it very thick and powerful sounding. Not only use one sound, but a couple of layers of sounds and like glue those together and put them into a song group. You could also use one or two sounds. I think that's what KYGO does. Put a saturator, big fat saturator on top of it. For example, you could use this flute sound and just like take down. I cut off the sound basically over here because I want to leave room for other sounds down there. That's why I'm taking this heavy EQ in here. But you could leave it down there and then just throw those saturators on. Put the limiter off here. And I'll go crazy with the saturator. Let's see, mid-range fattener. But you see the problem with the saturators. It's really, you need to find the right. That one's already better, and you could also compress the signal more and to get it tighter sounding, but then you're losing a little bit of the dynamics. I think there are several approaches. I tried this approach of layering it quite a bit, just see where it takes me. If we play it all together now. hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Subscribe to our channel and I hope to see you next time.